What's up? Today we're going to be making a fish stir fry, and we're going to be doing it with black bean sauce. So this black bean sauce is the fermented black beans, so it's super salty and savory, and all that garlic inside is just going to give it a ton of taste. And we're really not going to have to add any other seasoning to it except for maybe some sugar just to kind of balance out all that salt. So we're doing this today with a fish called swai. It's also called basa. It's kind of like a catfish. So the meat, it's really tender, and it tends to hold well with stuff like frying. So we're going to kind of flash fry this. So I have some flour and cornstarch mix. I'm just gonna kind of cube it up, pretty large chunks, nothing too small. And I'm just gonna coat it in the flour and cornstarch mix. There's also some salt and pepper in here. So just give that a good toss. I'm gonna turn my pan on, let that get hot. What I'm gonna do is just lightly coat this fish with the flour. So I got a non-stick pan going. It's just so it's a little easier on me for when we actually do the sauteing. You don't want to get all this flour stuck to the pan and then make it all difficult for me later on. So I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the pan. Just going to let that get hot first before I start adding in the fish. So what else is going in this stir fry is some onion, bell peppers, so I got some red and green just for some color, some garlic, and some ginger. So this is a super basic recipe, nothing too complicated. Just gonna test. Yeah, we're good. It's starting to sizzle up already, so just kind of spread this all out. All the extra flour and cornstarch that's actually stuck onto the fish is okay, because it's gonna help thicken up our sauce later on, because we're going to be adding a little bit of water to it. So I'm going to lower the heat. I don't want it to fry too fast and then get burnt. This fish holds heat, but it can get cooked pretty well done. It doesn't really get super tough, so that's why it's real good for frying. I'm going to add a bit more oil to this, actually. So I'm going to let this fry up and get kind of crispy. And once it's really nice and crispy, so then we're going to start taking it out, letting it just finish up cooking with its residual heat. And then while it's cooling off, we're going to be cooking off all the rest of the vegetables, and we're going to add the fish back in at the end. See how things are going. So it's starting to go. It's gonna take quite a while. I'm also gonna put in a bit of mirin. Mirin going. So just want to keep a watch over this. This fish cooks really fast, and you can see, like, I would like it to get a little bit more brown than that, but you can see, like, it's starting to turn white all the way up the sides, so that means it's almost done cooking on the other side. So I don't want to cook it all the way through, because we're going to be adding it back in at the end later to finish the cooking process. I just want it to get kind of crispy right now. Watching the heat, controlling it, making sure it's not getting too brown. Yeah, so I wanted that color, that kind of nice crispy golden color. But I can tell the fish is starting to get really cooked, so I don't want to push it too far. see some of the flour and cornstarch is getting really brown already. So what I'm gonna do is actually pour a little bit of this oil out later on, because I don't want the sauce to have a burnt taste at the end. I'm not looking to really make like a roux in here. I'm just trying to fry the fish up to get it crispy. The flour is really just to protect the fish and help give it a crispy layer like that. That right there is pretty good already. Honestly, this fish is probably 70% done, 80% done, so we're just gonna take most of it out already. This one can go a little bit longer. Try not to overcook this stuff. These are like the bigger pieces. I'll let it stay in there a little bit longer. But yeah, as you can see, it's getting really dark at the edges. So I'm just gonna pour this oil out. So I think that's good already. Turn the heat off. Get the fish out. Yeah, see, it's a very nice crispy color. Now that oil is out, I'll turn the pan back on. This pan is still super hot. A little bit of oil. We're gonna go in with our onions. So onions first, then we're gonna do the bell pepper, then the garlic, ginger, and then finally with the sauce, the black bean sauce, and then some water just to loosen it up a bit. So I'm cooking it on a very high heat. You see how the onion's kind of getting charred up already. Try to keep things moving around. This is what you want. You want to have that charred taste. That's what gives a stir fry, a Chinese style stir fry anyway. It's real taste. You want to have that sear taste, that smoky charred taste to your stir fry. But there's a difference between charred and burnt, so we're not trying to burn anything. So now I'm gonna add in my bell pepper. Keep things moving. Everything moving so nothing gets burnt. At this point, my onions are pretty much soft. I'm just trying to soften up the bell pepper right now. So I'm going to add in the garlic and the ginger. And then once the garlic cooks off real quick, we're gonna lower the heat and add in the mirin and let the alcohol cook off. Keeping it moving because that garlic will burn if you let it sit in one spot too long. Because how minced up the garlic is. It'll cook very quickly and burn. Okay, I'm gonna lower the heat down and we're gonna be adding in the mirin. Just a splash. The mirin has some sugar in it as well. So the mirin has cooked all the way off. I'm going to turn the heat off. I'm going to add in big heaping spoonful, maybe a spoon and a half of the sauce, black bean sauce. I'm going to be adding in a little bit of water soon. Just want to break down the sauce and let it have a chance to saute first. Let the aromas come out from the fermented beans. Okay. Turn the heat back up. And the water is gonna go in, just a bit to start. See that it's gotten all thick already. Just want to taste real quick. I have to need some sugar. It's very salty. Bit of sugar. At this point, I'm going to turn the heat back down a little bit. Add in a tiny bit of our sesame oil. And then in the fish. That's pretty much it. It's ready to go. Everything is all cooked up. I just want to try a piece of our vegetable just to make sure our seasoning is on point. Yep, seasoning is on point. Turn the heat off. And then plate up. And then just to finish off, a little bit of the green onion right on top. And then there you go, that's it. That's your swai black bean sauce stir fry.